And I'm live. Hey guys, Brandon back again with some more content from Epiphany Recording Studio. Today I'm going to take another crack at mixing this song for... it's a contest put on by Lewitt Microphones. And I've only got a couple more days before I got to turn it in, so I'm going to try and make this more or less the final way I'm going to do it. But I learned a lot from the first time around, and yeah, well, let's see what we can get today. So here's our project. I've already arranged the tracks. I haven't really done anything else to them. And first thing I'm going to do today is, apart from just bumping my levels up a little bit, is I'm going to try out some drum replacement. And in order to do that, I need to start off with something called Dynamic Split. And what this does is, hopefully you can see this on the stream, is before I pull this up, we just have the waveform. And then as soon as this comes up, you start to see these dotted lines here on the track. And what that's going to do is split our kick drum at I think I can probably leave that where it is. Split the kick drum at these transients, essentially like where the kick drum kicks in. And I'll show you kind of how that works. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm setting the threshold to tell this thing to listen at a certain level, and anything below that level is not going to get a dynamic split. And I'm pretty happy, I think, with where I've got it set, where it is. Basically, right now I'm trying to not catch any of the bleed from the other microphones. So I think that's good, and I'm just going to go ahead and split them. But that split all of the tracks. That's not quite what I wanted. Because they're all selected. Okay. Duh. Split selected items. Yes, and what I also want to do is actually want to duplicate this track and do this operation on the new track. Right, so okay, now that's all split up. And what I'm going to do now is find a kick drum sound that I like with this song. So this song is kind of bluesy, but I still want the kick drum to have some punch, right? And it sounds like, or it looks like rather, these samples are not getting through. As I'm clicking on these, I can hear them, but it's not coming through for you guys, so sorry about that, but you'll hear it when I get it into the track. That didn't work. That didn't work either. I think I have to drag this on there. There we go. Replace all 89 occurrences. Let's see, replace the target media with the source Yes, okay. And so now what you can see is we have this kick sample instead of an acoustic kick. And what this has also done is this has deleted my track here, which is kind of annoying. I haven't figured out yet how to work around that, but it's okay because I can just pull the audio file back in. There we go. So now, here's what the kick sounded like before. Right, sounds like a kick drum. This guy could probably do with some more volume. Yeah, sounds like a kick drum. But I wanted to give it a little bit more punch. So now we have this guy in there. Significantly louder, obviously, because it's a sample, but I'm mixing, so this is what we do. And I just immediately like how much more excitement that gives this. So, another thing that I'm going to do here is on the acoustic kick drum tracks. I'm going to use something called the SSL G channel, which, among other things, has a downward expander on it. So I can use this for EQ, compression, but mainly I want to use this downward expander, and I'll show you just what that does. Right now it's not doing anything. But you can still hear the bleed of the drum kit in the background. So I'm going to slowly bring up this range knob until now you can see that green meter going. Okay, so what I've done now is set the range that this expander will expand downward in the amount of gain. And in order to get this sounding how I want it to, I need to increase the threshold little by little until things like these little hits aren't coming through. And it actually looks like I can bump it mostly all the way up. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit to add some smoothness back in. But so that's with the expander, and now without the expander. And with. That kick drum really just comes through a lot more with that expander on there. So I'm also going to use this plugin for some EQ, and I think I want a little bit more in about the 160 range. I'm going to cut at around 500. And I do want a low pass filter on here as well. 4K. So there's our EQ. I'm going to dial in a compressor now, just a little bit of compression on this channel strip. And I don't want to do a fast compressor here because I want that transient to come through. Just a tiny little bit. It looks like about 1.5. So this is just a channel strip plugin, and already I'm getting a much better sound out of this kick drum. This is with, without, and with. Much punchier. That'll sit a lot better in a mix. And I'm going to copy that channel strip setting over to the other kick drum mic. And now let's see what we got with all three of these kick sounds. Nice and punchy. This condenser mic needs to come down just a little bit. A little bit more, it seems. I'm still clipping by about half a dB. Cool. So let's just bring everything back in, and except for the sample kick here, and let's see the difference. Okay, without and with. So much more punch. Okay, so the next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to do the same process, but with the snare drum. So I want to duplicate, not delete, the top snare mic. There's a top and a bottom. And I want to do the same dynamic split here on this guy. Set my sensitivity levels. I think it's pretty good. This was mic'd really well, so these transients really come through. And yeah, go ahead and split. And now I can look for a snare sound that I like. So again, sorry, these sample sounds as I'm clicking them aren't coming through, but you'll get to hear it when I pull it in. Okay, I think I like this one. Go about right there. I'm going to replace all of those. Yes, and now it's again deleted my top snare, but I can just replace it with the WAV file. There we go. All right, let's see how that sounds. Just the snare sample. Quite loud. But it's got a nice fat sound. Pretty dry though, right? Let's pull back in the acoustic snares. So here's without. Right, not a bad snare sound, but not really a lot of punch. This is with. It's immediately more punch going on. So this isn't a replacement. This is just an augmentation of the performance. Looks like here I can also bring my top snare clip volume up a little bit. Yeah. I'm going to pull down all 3 of the snare drums just a little bit. Okay. I think I want even less of that. Less of that sample in there. All right, let's bring everything back in.
Compassion and love need to appear. Eternal temptation of anger and fear.
See how it sounds with just the kick and the snare, huh? Not bad. I might actually try a slightly different snare sound, because in the whole mix I wasn't really getting a lot of that snare, so I'm just gonna nope, cancel. There we go. Replace all of those. There we are. That sounds a little bit more appropriate for this genre, I think. Okay, so you can hear here there's also some of that bleed from the other tracks in here going on, and I want to remedy that in the same way as I did with the kick drum. I'm going to take the kick drum out now so that I can just be sure that I am taking things out of the snare top track. Okay, so gradually raise the threshold. Now, with the snare, it's a little bit trickier because there are these little ghost notes happening in here. Oh no, what happened? Ah, yes, I see what I've done. I have placed the plugin on the wrong channel. Let's undo a little bit. There we go. Okay. It's like it should be doing something, and it's not doing anything. All right. That's better. So now take everything but the snare top out. Oops. And I want to highlight just this area in here because this is, I want to make sure I keep those ghost notes in there. Bring down the threshold for this one, or the range rather. So I can increase the threshold a little bit more. This should be a fast attack. Okay. Hi. So another thing I'm going to do here is a low pass filter, just to get those cymbals out of there, but I don't want to take away too much of the pop from the snare, so leave it around 6.5K. Want to bring in some high mids. Around 5K to help with the pop for that snare. And I'm going to take, again, some low mids out of the 500 hertz range and bring in a high pass filter to about 120. All right, so that's our G channel done, I think. This is with and without, and with. Much better, I think. And I can do just about the same thing to the snare bottom track. But I can treat the expander a little bit differently on this one because those ghost notes pop a little bit better on this one. Bring the range back down just a little bit because it lost some of its musicality, and the threshold up. Oh my. Oh, is that fresh oregano?
Mint.
Mint. Oh, chocolate mint. Fresh chocolate mint, you guys. Oh, that was a breath of fresh air. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to take it back to the snare top mic really quick and just dial in some compression. On the G channel here, I like to bump the threshold all the way up and then just slowly dial this in until it starts to just grab things just a little bit. It's around 1.7, 1.8. Take it all the way up to 2. Okay, so same thing then for the snare bottom. Slowly raise the ratio. This one can sit a little bit lower, 1.8. Cool. So now, if I enable, again, all of our kick and snare. Oops. Lost my mixer window. There we go. Escape. Nice and snappy, punchy. Liking how that sounds. All right, let's bring in the rest of the kit. Actually, just the overheads for right now. I think I want to try a different kick sample on this one that I've got in there. Let's see, kick drums. Which one did I use? 8, that's what I thought. I don't want anything that's too electronic sounding. And again, sorry for these samples won't come through into the stream. I can hear them as I click on them, and that's what I'm listening for. But you'll get to hear it once I pull it into the project. Yeah. I'm going to try 5 and replace all of those. Yep. Switch back to 8 and see what the difference is. No, I like 8 better. Good. Sometimes you just need a little something a little different to confirm what you like. Okay. No more Media Explorer for now. So that's feeling pretty good to me. I'm going to do a little bit on the toms now. Just on the rack tom. And really the easiest and I think best strategy for toms is, because there's so few tom hits, like you see there's all of this happening and not a tom hit until we get to over here. An expander can only take us so far. I love expanders. I love how musical they can sound, but I think it's better just to cut all of this out, and then we can use an expander on just the tom hits themselves. Take that to about here. Should give us a nice even decay on the tom. Take that to about here. All right, let's find some more tom hits. Oh, that might be it for this tom. Actually, that sounds like tom, doesn't it? It's definitely not floor tom. So we can see here the floor tom is very clear where it's being hit. That could also just be the tom resonating with the bass drum, though. And I think that's actually what's happening. So, oh, that's really it for this tom, is up here. Okay, so there's one tom. Let's move on to the floor tom now. Okay, cut that about there. Should still give us a nice even decay on the tom. I think this is a crescendo on this tom. Yes. Let's cut that about there. These look like some tom hits. Okay, cut that around there. These next ones I might not need to do any cutting in between. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm going to cut this out about there. And that's it for the toms. Okay. So, rack tom first. Let's pull up our G channel and work on the expander. pull the range up because I really do want this to decay into basically nothing. Fast attack. And that gives us a nice musical decay. I've forgotten if I like to turn this analog setting on. It adds just a little bit of warmth to this plugin. So I want to make sure that I've got it on all my other instances. Yeah, good. Okay. All right. So there's our expander for this track. Let's make sure that it sounds okay over here too. Yeah. Looking good. Okay, so again here I'm going to pull out some frequencies. I'm going to do a little bit, pull out a little bit around 500. Get a low cut up to about 120. And bring out some high mids. Cool. I've inserted a marker in here for some reason. Okay, and then just a little bit of compression. This will be a lot easier, I think, if I restrict my bounds. Okay, so just bump up the ratio until it just grabs, so about 1.5. Cool. So that is rack tom done. Boom. Floor tom time. Grab the G channel again. Flip on analog. Let's get one of these that has a little crescendo in it. It's going to be important to keep all of those hits in, so I definitely need a fast attack on this expander. Want my range to do a pretty significant amount of gain reduction after the fact, but I still want it to crescendo in. It still sounds nice. And let's bring up that threshold. A little bit more. Okay, let's see how that sounds without. Okay, and with. Not bad. I think I need to take off just a little bit more here on the end. Can even probably take off that snare hit from this one because I'm going to get a lot of that ringing from the overheads, so I don't need to preserve that here. So now I can bring the range back down a little bit to preserve range and threshold, to preserve some of that nice crescendo there. Okay. Let's see how that sounds on some of these other ones. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Time to EQ this sucker. Okay. Low mids again coming out. I do this low mids bit because this is really where I want the bass to sit, and that frequency can build up in drums. So I just get rid of it. And this one's got a lot of nice low frequency, actually, that I don't want to cut off too much, but I do want to pull out a lot of these high frequencies. Okay, so that's the EQ. Let's do a little bit of compression. And already that gives it a significant bit more snap. Cool. All right, there's our toms. Now that I've done toms, I'm going to start panning this stuff a little bit. So toms, rack tom is going to go. I need to actually listen to the overheads to figure out what side things are on, so I can keep everything in phase. So let's take a quick listen to overheads. See if we can figure out which side things are on. Sounds to me like the rack tom is on the right. The floor tom is even further to the right. Definitely. So both of these are going over to the right. I want to do, to create a good stereo image, I'm going to push rack tom 30, 33, 35% to the right, and double that for the floor tom. So that should help keep things in phase. I need to pull the tom mics down just a little bit. Right on. Okay, another thing I need to do here while I've got the overheads up is see about hi-hat and ride cymbal. Hi-hat is on the left. Ride cymbal is on the right. Okay, let's just do that now. Hi-hat all the way left, ride all the way right. And that'll be ready for us when we get there. Okay. So what else we got going on? What else we got going on is I need to rename a couple tracks so that my snare sample is the snare sample and my kick sample is kick sample. Just a little bit of housekeeping, clean as you go. Don't be a messy cook. Let's take a look at these overheads. I'm going to do the G channel again, but I'm going to use it in a slightly different way. Since these are the overheads, there's not really any bleed, right? It just captures the drum sound. So let's get a loop going. And this is a pretty good sounding overhead. You know, it could stand to be a little bit snappier. So I'm going to start dialing in compression. And again, pull out a little bit at 500. I'm going to add a little bit here at about 10K to give some shimmer and sparkle to those symbols. And then a little bump in the high mids around 5K to help with that snare pop. Okay. Now I'm going to start adding in all of the other elements. Let's add in the kick, snare. Woo! Tasty. Sounding like a good trap set. I do need to pull this whole thing down though. Okay. Start bringing in the hi-hat and the ride. Hi-hat's way loud. I actually don't like the stereo image with that all the way over to the left, so I'm going to pull it back to about 60%. What's up, Rouselby? Good to see you, bud. Feeling pretty good today. I'm over the nausea for now, at least, I think. It's just really hot here. So, we don't have air conditioning or anything, so it's pretty sweaty. Now that I'm listening again, it's really sounding to me like the hi-hat's on the right side. I'd really like to know how this trap set was recorded. No, in the drum rooms. Okay, this will help with phase once I get the drum rooms in there. Hi-hat's definitely on the left. Ride's definitely on the right. Okay. Yeah, no air conditioning is a no-go, I agree. I agree. Actually, I'm about ready to switch up the configuration of this room so I can get some cross breeze going in here. Hold up. There we go. Open the door to the outside where our neighbors are having their roof redone. Okay. So, let's see. Let's just do cymbals and overheads real quick. It still sounds to me like the hi-hat mic is too loud. Yeah. All right. So let's get some G channel going on this hi-hat. I'm going to start with the expander. Let's see what we can do here. This is going to be kind of tough because there's a lot of bleed here. Let's just try threshold all the way up and see what we get. No, no good. There's only so much I can do with an expander. It's really not too bad for all the bleed in this hi-hat mic. So definitely one thing I can come in here and do is clean this stuff up because none of this is hi-hat. And that's not helping us at all. Let's see. Reading some comments. My vocals, a phone capture of another podcast that I took clips from, and music between talking points. Cool. That's a little different format for you, huh, Rosalby? That should be a fun one to work on. Okay, more that's not hi-hat. None of this is hi-hat. Let's get rid of all that. Oh, there are some little tiny, cool little hits in there. I think I should be able to get those on the overheads, though. Yeah, hi-hat doesn't start till there. Okay, this is all hi-hat. I'm going to leave that in. Pull back on the threshold a little bit so that I get more of that hi-hat sound in there. Yeah, another tiny little bits of hi-hat in there, but I'm going to let the overhead get those. All right, cool. I think that's good for the expander there. All right, so one thing I can definitely do is pull up a pretty significant low cut. Keep the niceness of the hi-hat sound in there. I want to get a little bit more of the stick sound on there, so I'm going to pull it down to about 300. I'm going to give it a boost at about 10K. Give it some nice shimmer. And pull up the high mids a little bit. And another cut in the low mids. Righteous. Looking good on that hi-hat. Yeah. This is starting to be a real nice drum sound. I'm liking this a lot better than what was going on last time. So let's just solo what I've got so far. It's going to be pretty much everything but the ride cymbal. Yeah, I think what I'm hearing something in the kick drum sample that I really don't like, and I think it's at 500 hertz. So I'm going to pull a good bit of 500 hertz out of there. Yes, it was. Check this out. So there's the kick sound with the kick sample completely unadjusted. And now here's with 500 hertz pulled out of the kick. Much smoother. I like that. Okay. And there's something also going on in the snare that I want to try and clean up. And I think it's the low mids and the high mids. Yeah. Same deal. Cool. All right, I like that a lot better. All right, let's get to this ride cymbal. I'm just going to go ahead and throw a G channel on there now. I might not get to that right away because I want to see what kind of bleed we got going on in this ride. Okay, it sounds like none of this until there is ride cymbal. So let's pull all of that out. Okay, so more not ride cymbal going on in here. Starts there. Ends about there. I don't need to worry about the tails on this mic because I'm going to get those in the overheads in the room. No ride. I think this is all going to be hi-hat through here. That's all hi-hat. No ride. No ride. Still no ride. There it is. Okay, so I think we're ready for some G channel on this guy. Let's see. This was a good section. Let's start with that expander. Give it a fast attack. And a pretty fast release, actually. Pull that down by about 5 milliseconds. All right, right on. One thing that I forgot if I did or not was a compressor on the hi-hat, and I did not. I wanted to do that. So before I get too far on that ride, let's go back here really quick. It's looking like about 2. Cool. Okay, so back to the ride symbol here. Start with low cut. Give it a boost at 10K. Give it some nice sizzle. Cut at 500. Boost the high mids. All right, let's dial in this compressor real quick. There we go. Okay, so the last thing, I mean, really, is the drum room sound. And this is a lot different from close mic'd drums. So what I want to do here is just, oh, this is actually a stereo. So I need a stereo G channel. It's a pretty good sounding room. I think really what I want to do here is accentuate what I've already done. All right, so that's with EQ, without EQ. Let's see, am I almost done? I'm almost done with the drums. And there's really not too many tracks other than drums in this song, so probably another hour and I'll be done. Mm-hmm. And one thing I've just realized is I actually also put a mono G channel on these overheads. So I need to remedy that And then just go back and redial this in. So about 10K, little boost. Little boost around 5,000 for the snare, cut 500, and just a little bit of compression. Let's mix that in with the drum room. So no, I guess no, I'm not almost done, Rosalby. But it's going to be about another hour. Okay, dialing in the compression on the room mic. Just a little bit, okay. All right, so there now. I've got a drum kit. It's the whole drum kit together. I'm going to pull down the room just a little bit. Give us a little bit more overheads. How's that sound on the stream, Rosalby? Let's see, I've done my panning. Still not entirely sure about these toms, honestly. Sounds like a drum kit. Good. Okay, the last bit of drums I'm going to do here is this worst track. And this, I think, is also a mono, yeah. So I'm going to pull some G channel on here also to accentuate what I've already done. But I think I'm going to take a lot of the high end out of there because I'm not a fan of what the cymbals are doing. I do like the low end though, so I'm going to give it a boost around 120. And I'm going to give it a good bit of compression because that's partly what these tracks were made for. Oh, not a drum kit, a drum KTI. My bad. Well, that means I'm not doing a very good job because this is supposed to sound like a drum kit. All right, let's see what that sounds like with the rest of the drums, huh? Yeah, I really like that worst in there. That bratwurst. Ha! This is without the worst. And with. Really adds a nice openness on the low end. Oh, sweet. All right, so the other thing that's happening here is this SPDS track, which is just like a drum, an electronic drum track. For some effects. And then there's also these mallets happening. So I'm not going to do anything to the electronic drum kit. I am, however, going to do a little bit of processing on these mallets. Pull them down about 2 dB. And let's see if there's anything going on in between mallets. I don't think so. I'm going to guess they recorded these after the fact. So there's not a lot happening. Yeah. I'm going to do some low cut in there to about 300. Takes a little bit of build up out. I'm also going to pull out again some 500 hertz. Give it a boost around 10K. Nice and shimmery. Okay. Okay. Sweet. So I think I'm pretty happy with how that drum kit sounds. Let's smush some tracks down. There we go. And what I'm going to do now is give myself a drum track folder just for all the drums. Move all of these guys in here. Now I can do a little bit of drum bus processing. That won't come till later, but drum bus is a little hot. So I'm going to pull that down. All right, next up, bass. Bass doesn't come in until after the first verse of this song. Let's see what we can do to this bass sound. I want to give this bass some boost at around 60. $500. And right around 1500 for some snappiness. I'm going to do a high cut. 2035. And then dial in some compression. So I want to see what more I can get out of this bass. I think I can get some nice sounds out of it with this H comp here. I feel like that almost turned it down. Drum bus is still a little hot. Still a little hot. Let's try drum bus at -6. I do want to do a little bus compression on this drum bus though real quick. There's my drum bus. Okay, bring this threshold up a little bit. Cool. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how those drum and bass are sounding together. Let's move on to the guitars. So there's 2 guitar tracks here with some different kinds of things happening. Some effecty kind of guitars, and then there's this super duper compressed, high gain, mid-rangey guitar, and a little bit of these kind of strummed chords. Now, there's only 2 guitar tracks. I would like to get a bit of a stereo image going on with the guitars. But not necessary, though, because these keys are stereo, so those can fill in. I just need to make sure that this guitar doesn't fight with the vocals. I'm going to try something on this guitar. I have this effect called the crystallizer that can do some interesting things with doubling. Let's see what that sounds like. So before and after. I think I like that. See how that sounds on the strummed chords. Yeah, it gives it a nice little stereo spread. Let's try that with the drums and the bass. Pretty happy with how that turned out, actually. Let's see if I can do the same thing and get away with the same thing on this this higher gain guitar. I'm going to use the Great Doubler preset. I don't like that as much. Let's try this Corsair. I know this is also kind of a doubling thing. I do like that. I don't know if it's right for the song, though. Let's see without again. You know what? I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with it. And before that happens, I want to do a little bit of G channel on these guitars. Before the crystallizer. So this guitar is going to sit in the low mids. I'm going to try and get it to fit in around the 800 to 1200 range. I'm going to put just a little bit of compression on it. Too much. Oh yeah. I like the way that guitar sounded. Okay, G channel on this other guitar. And same thing for this guy. He's going to sit in the 800 to 1200-ish range. So let's see how that sounds with the guitar or the drums and the bass. Yeah, I'm liking that. The only thing is I want to fatten this bass up a little bit. So I'm going to widen the bandwidth on these boosts here. Okay, that helped out a little bit. Oh yeah, that's nice. So I put this plugin on here called the Decapitator, which is like a tube saturation plugin. It really helped fatten up the bass. All right, man. Hey, good to see you, Rouselby. Thanks for hanging out. I will have a whole lot of fun making music sound good. Yes, I will. Yes, I very much like that bass sound. Okay, let's check out these keys. Okay, again, start with the G channel here. I want to do a couple things here. I want to bring out some shimmeriness in this piano by giving it that 10K boost, which will run it into the cymbals a little bit, which should be okay though because there's not a lot of cymbals happening in this song. I want to, I think, give it a boost in 500. Yeah. Oh, QWERTY22559. No, I don't want to become famous with your scams. Thank you, though. I do also want to give this a boost in the high mids. Around 6K. So this piano is going to essentially fill in for for the spots that I've boosted and cut at this point. Alright, let's see how that sounds with the guitars and the bass. Guitar is a little bit loud. Guitar's still a little loud. The important thing with this too is that the piano still sounds good by itself. All right, almost there. Last and definitely not least is the vocals.
You can deny it, you preach it and you hide it. Intoxication caused by the venom you're spitting. It ain't true just because it's written. You can deny it.
Okay, let's see where to start here. I'm going to start with the G channel again, I think.
You can deny it, you preach it and you hide it. Intoxication caused by the venom you're spitting. It ain't true just because it's written. You can deny it.
Yeah. So just a little bit of compression for that guy. I think I forgot to turn the analog on a couple of these G channels. Oh, come on, close. Whew, unlike most of them, actually, it looks like. Got that one. Got that one. Okay, I think I got the rest of them. All right. I'm going to pull off my headphones and bring this into the room and see how this is sounding.
You can deny it, you preach it and you hide it. Intoxication Intoxication caused by the venom you're spitting. It ain't true just because it's written. You can't think I'm not it. You reach it in your heart. Compassion and love need to appear. The tone temptation of anger and fear.
Yeah, let's get a I'm gonna try this V comp on here.
Could you tell me what does it mean to live a life in unity? I can see people are devalued by their society. I'll reach out my hand to make you understand.
Give it a little bit of clarity in the vocals.
To live a life in harmony. We reap what we sow.
This is kind of a lot of compression. It's because we've also got a limiter on here.
Intoxication caused by the venom you're spitting. It ain't true just because it's written. You can deny it, you breathe it, then you hide it. Compassion and love need to appear. The eternal temptation of anger and fear.
All right, let's take this all the way back to the beginning now.
Could you tell me what does it need
Vocals can come down just a
to
little bit.
be free? Oh, I can see people are blinded by their anxieties. Prisoners of hate, oh, the slaves of major insecurities. You will reap what you sow, oh, the seeds of your sorrow. You can deny it, you preach it in your heart. Intoxication caused by the venom you're spitting. It ain't true just because it's written. You can't deny it, you preach it in your heart. Compassion and love need to appear. The eternal temptation of anger and fear. You can deny it, you preach it in your heart.
Okay, lots of compression going on here. This V comp did kind of a lot, and I don't think I like everything that it did.
You can deny the seeds of your sorrow. You can deny it, you preach it.
Oh, but I'm reaching the end of my ability to sit here and do this right now. So a couple last steps that I'm going to pull up here are mix bus compressor and master track limiter.
The seeds of your sorrow. You can deny it, you preach it in your heart. Intoxication caused by the venom you're spitting. It ain't true just because it's written.
And those vocals definitely still need more.
Compassion and love need to appear. The eternal temptation of anger and fear. Could you tell me? I can see people are devalued by their society. I'll reach out my hand to make you understand. We gotta stay together to live a life.
I want these drums to come out a little bit more. Intoxication caused by the venom you're spitting. It ain't true just because it's written. You can not hit you, breathing then you hide it. Compassion and love need to appear. The eternal temptation of anger and fear. Oh boy, that limiter really took the vocals out of there.
Love need to appear. The eternal temptation of anger.
Wow. I'm not super familiar with this plugin. So probably not the greatest idea to use it. What I am familiar with is CLA 76.
Intoxication caused by the venom you're spitting. It ain't true just because it's written. You can not hit you, breathing then you hide it. Compassion and love
Yes, I like
need to
that.
appear. The eternal temptation of anger and fear.
Okay, I want to see if I can get these drums a little bit more exciting. So I'm going to bring a decapitator onto the drum bus. See what this gives me.
You can deny it, you preach it, then you hide it. Intoxication caused by the venom you're spitting. It ain't true just because it's written. You can deny.
Yeah, man, I feel like my drums lost a lot somewhere. Whew. Not quite that far, no thank you. I do like that, though.
To live a life in harmony. We reap what we sow the seeds.
Okay, I'm gonna back that drive off just a little bit, though.
You can deny it, you preach it, and you hide it. Intoxication caused by the venom you're spitting. It ain't.
No.
Could you tell me
bring down everything but the drums.
Of anger and fear.
I think on my drums I also need to bring down my rooms, overheads, ride, and hi-hat.
You can deny it, you preach it and you hide it. Intoxication caused by the venom you're spitting. It ain't true just because it's written. You can deny it, you preach it and you hide it. Compassion and love need to appear. Detone temptation of anger and fear. You tell me, what does it need to live a life in unity? I can see people are devalued by their society. I'll reach out my hands and make you understand. We gotta stay together to live a life in harmony. We reap what we sow, the seeds of tomorrow. You can deny it, you
I'm just making some minor adjustments here to the levels.
intoxication caused by the venom you're spitting. It ain't true just because it's written. You can deny it, you preach it and you hide it. Compassion and love need to appear. Detone temptation of anger and fear. You can
Barely hear those toms.
You can deny it, you preach it and you hide it. Compassion and love need to appear.
Heard that one.
Detone temptation of anger and fear. Fear. Compassion and love need to appear. Detone compassion. You can deny it, you preach it and you hide it. Compassion and love need to appear. Detone temptation of anger and fear. Could you tell me, what does it need? I can see people are devalued by their society. I'll reach out my hands and make you understand. We gotta stay together.
No, I don't like that. Undo that.
What we sow, the seeds of tomorrow. You can deny it, you preach it and you hide it. Intoxication causes.
Okay, I think that's a good place to stop for today. I'm reasonably happy with how that sound turned out.
What does it mean to live a life in unity?
Yeah, definitely. I like how that sound turned out better than the first one that I did. Let's save this project as this, but what is it? The 14th today. Yeah, sure. Let's create a subdirectory for project. Oh no, save not responding. There we go. So let's see. Takeaways from today. Drum augmentation is your friend. Mixing with the G channel is pretty easy, but I don't think I got as much. I don't feel like I got as exciting of a mix out of it as I could have with some other techniques. And I kind of just lost my flow there at the end when I started doing vocals. So other takeaway is take a break. Take a break, kids. So that's about 2 hours of streaming. That's about all that I can handle for today. Thanks everybody that tuned in. If you're watching on Facebook, I'm sorry I didn't see your comments, but I will get back to them later. Thanks Rosalby for jumping on and chatting and hanging out. And I will see you guys next time. I hope that you're doing well out there. I hope you're filling your day with things that you love.